What's up, YouTube? I know I haven't uploaded anything in a while, but I've been very busy with school, and also I just don't know what I wanted to upload. Last thing that I uploaded was the advice on 4K Blu-rays, or rather 4K content, and really that was way too complicated. It ended up being over an hour, and I didn't know what I was doing. There was no script to it, and it's not very digestible. So here I've slimmed it down to just 4 rules for when you're choosing 4K content, and hopefully this is going to come into less than a minute. First rule, do your research. Make sure you understand how the movie was shot, with what camera was it shot, when was it released, is it shot on film or digital? There is a difference between those, not as much as you'd think, but it's important. Is it mastered in 4K? What is mastered in 4K? Mastering 4K basically means when they take the film stock or camera negative or DIT or whatever, they master it in a certain resolution before they put it out to manufacturers, put it so they can send it into Blu-rays and to other cinemas. It's got a resolution of at least 4K, 3840 by 2160. That means that when they blow it up to 4K, the resolution is going to match, because if you master it at 2K, it's going to be a lot smaller and they're going to have to constantly be scaling it up, and that means it's not truly captured in that, and it's going to be going up and back and back and forth and back and forth, and that's not good for it. Make sure, general rule of thumb, make sure that if it's shot on film, chances are going to be mastered in 4K, because film stock doesn't have a resolution. It can potentially go up to 6K, whereas if it's shot on digital, there's a chance it switches hands so many times and it won't be full 4K. Is it newly remastered? When was it remastered? Was it supervised by the director or the DP? With what technology did they remaster it? These are all variables that go into it. It's even important for one Blu-ray to the next. Even if it's not 4K, it can help knowing if it's a remastered version of the old film, because it might still look better. Number 2, HDR. Make sure your TV is equipped with some form of high dynamic range. If you do not, you're only getting half the visual information. You cannot proceed without this. Dolby Vision is the most ubiquitous and advanced version of this technology, as well as the most expensive. I advise you just go with that. If you get HDR10, that's fine. It's backwards compatible with almost everything, and it's only a slight step down, but Dolby Vision just covers the most amount of content. OLED is not an essential panel type for your TV, even if it is the best option for HDR. Projectors and gaming monitors fit into this slightly differently. I don't know a lot about them. I advise you stick with the first option, conduct further research. Even if you don't have any 4K content, HDR will still improve the quality of anything you put through it. Even DVDs can benefit slightly. Number 3, avoid CGI. This just across the board. You can't get rid of it entirely, just avoid films with a lot of CGI. How much of the film was shot in camera? What resolution were the visual effects rendered at? Does it have a lot of visual effects? Do they stand out even on a DVD? These are all thoughts that are going to inform whether or not you buy the film on 4K. General rule of thumb is everything made from after 2000 is probably going to be crammed full of CGI. They can still have bad visual effects before the 2000s, but its chances are going to be shot on film, in camera, and it's going to look a lot better, especially after 2010. Avoid all of Marvel, all of Disney. And finally, the last rule, no streaming. The bitrate of 4K streaming services is usually comfortable around 20 megabits a second. It doesn't go above 30. The playback rate of a 1080p Blu-ray is 40 megabits a second. The bitrate of a UHD Blu-ray is 128 megabits a second. It's no contest. You are not getting the full benefit of this format, even if all other requirements are met. Just don't stream. Not to mention it's going to do a number on your internet, and it's probably going to cost you extra for whatever you're paying for that service. Stick to 1080p for streaming, you will be fine. Hopefully that was all much quicker.